What's up, gaming heroes, and welcome back to another awesome World of Warcraft video. Today I want to talk a little bit about engineering and why it makes an absolute boatload of gold. I wrote a guide on gaminghero.io about this for the members about 2 weeks ago now, and I just want to dive into it and basically show you why it is so good for gold making right now. If you want to stay up to date with the latest gold guides and you want to get them before they come out on YouTube, then my best suggestion is to check out gaminghero.io. As you can see, we had the engineering guide written about 2 weeks ago now, and this guide literally tells you everything that you need to do in order to make loads of gold in World of Warcraft with engineering. Now, professions in War Within aren't easy to make gold. It's quite complicated, so we do advise to follow a guide like this that will help you make boatloads of gold. All professions are profitable, but there are certain strategies you need to follow to make them profitable, and these guides do really help you to achieve that. We have over 280 guides on gaminghero.io right now, so if you want to check it out, consider becoming a member and use code ERO to get 10% off. Let's dive into the video. First is first, let's open up engineering. Engineering, here we are. So before anyone asks what add-on I'm using Craft Sim. This is an add-on that works out the averages of your profits for everything, okay? All right, so let's have a little look here at all the various parts. Now, I'm a specialist in engineering parts, so all of my parts vary in terms of prices, but they all tend to be pretty profitable for the most part. Sometimes it just does slightly lag out and say it's not profitable for a second, but that's just because it needs to work out the stats that I've got from this special buff up here, which I'll show you in a minute how you can get that as well. Now, as you can see, all the parts here are profitable. So if I were to go ahead and create 1,000 of each of these, I'm going to get just under 18,000 gold profit for 1,000 whimsical wiring. If I were to craft 1,000 handful of bolts, I'd get 26,000 gold from that. Gyrating gear, I'd get 31,000 gold from 1,000 crafts. Bottled brilliance, apparently I'd get 184,000, but more likely it's going to be about 10,000, just being realistic. That price probably isn't realistic. It's probably someone just reset the market at the exact same time that TSM was refreshing the prices. This is more likely 10,000 gold. You just want to double check some of these prices sometimes, as you know, it depends when someone's resetting the market. For safety switch, we'd get 58,000 gold for 1,000 crafts. Entropy enhancer, 82,000 gold, and chaos circuit, 234,000 gold. Now, when you're doing these crafts, you do just need to bear in mind that you want to check those sell rates. If it's like the chaos circuit, you are going to be facing more competition and slower sale rates, so it might not always be the best decision to craft that. My personal favorite is the whimsical wiring, and that's because you sell so many so fast. You can pop 100 on the auction house at a time and they will sell within seconds, so it's really good to do this. Quick disclaimer, lots of people are jumping into engineering right now, so but a lot of these, the majority of these people aren't going to do it successfully, so have faith. You're following a good guide here. For engineering, you want to start off with some points in inventing, then some points in parts. You want to max out parts as soon as possible. Really max this out before you worry about maxing out inventing. Max out the parts, then max out inventing. Then you really want to focus on putting 15 points into ingenious. And the reason for that is you get a special buff whenever you invent. Gain Inventor's Guile, which increases multi-craft resourcefulness and ingenuity for 150 for 12 hours. This is that special buff that I've got on right here. If I didn't have this on, the profitability of these crafts would be drastically lower. Now here's another little strategy that will drastically increase your income for engineering. Making sure that your crafting gear is blue, as in the higher version of this gear. Now I do have one green slot, and that's pure and simply because I don't have the Artisan's Acuity, and I personally don't like doing shuffles in order to get that. I personally think that's exploiting the game, and I don't think that's in the moral fiber of being a gamer in World of Warcraft. I don't like exploits. I like to stick within what this game is really about, and I like to make sure I get my artisan's acuity through actually playing the game rather than unlearning a profession, learning a new profession, unlearning a profession, and learning a new profession. It just feels like I'm skirting on the edges just in desperation to get a bit more profit. It just doesn't feel right to me, so I stick with just playing the game properly, and I've got myself 2 awesome blue pieces of gear, and I've made sure that the stat that I got on my main profession tool is multicraft. So I got 329 multicraft, and then I've got an enchant for 120 resourcefulness, which does drastically increase the profit again on these crafts. My next option here will be to try and replace this accessory with another blue craft. To do this, I will be keeping a very careful, close attention on Patreon orders. Any Patreon order where they offer a reward of artisan acuity, I will specifically focus in and target on that. If I can craft it, I will craft it. I'll be checking every single day until I get enough artisan's acuity. There's another little trick to this, is you can check out your second profession and see if you've got anything on their crafting orders to see if you can get some artisan's acuity. That's how I initially got 2 pieces of blue gear, as I focused on my second profession as well as my main profession. Following this strategy and making sure you get your buff, then you can start putting lots of points into the right side, which is the scrapper side. And the reason you would want to put points into this is because it gives you resourcefulness. This saves you materials on each of your crafts, which in turn makes you more gold, and in turn gives you more profit, baby. Now, here are some strategies for getting your knowledge points sorted as fast as possible. Step 1 for knowledge points is to learn your profession, then go to each of the locations here and collect your knowledge treasures. Once you got your knowledge treasures, that will give you a load of points just to get started. Then, of course, at this point, you want to go to the engineering trainer in the City of Threads and spend 565 cash on your engineering journal. This rewards you with 10 additional knowledge points. Perfect for getting your knowledge points right up really quickly. Now, do just bear in mind, you can transfer your cash from one character to another character by pressing the character panel, which is C on the keyboard, then clicking on your currency button, and then very simply clicking on the currency and pressing transfer. This will only work if you have 1 cash on your current character. So if you don't have any cash on your current character, simply fly around the zone and collect 1 treasure until you get 1 cash. Then you will be able to transfer it across super easily, just like that. Then buy your journal just like that. Once you got your journal, learn your journal and get your 10 points. At this point, it will be time to focus on your first craft bonus. What is a first craft bonus? I'm glad you asked, my friends. It's very simply, you go to the filters at the top of your profession right here, you click on first craft bonus, and this will basically show you any particular craft that you can do that will give you an additional knowledge point. This additional knowledge point can obviously be spent on your specialization points. The aim of the game here is to craft every single item possible with a first craft bonus. I've obviously got 2 items here. One which is going to cost about 3 million gold to craft, so I'm going to stay away from that one. And then the other one here, which I could do, I just haven't got around to it quite yet. Another little tip for getting lots of first craft bonus is go to the auction house and then search for recipes, engineering, and then potentially buy out any recipes that are specifically targeted towards the war within. This will give you a new first craft bonus for each of these particular items, meaning you could get 10 extra points just from having your PvP recipes bought from the auction house for engineering. There is another option for getting your knowledge points, and that is very simply buy them from the Artisans Consortium. But I don't actually suggest this. I think it's a terrible idea to do this. I really wouldn't suggest doing this at all, because you do need your Artisan's Acuity to craft your gear, and you don't want to be wasting Artisan's Acuity on knowledge points if you can earn them through other means. It's best to save the Artisan's Acuity to craft your special items. If it's later into the expansion and you've got loads of Artisan's Acuity, then at that point it might be an idea to buy the knowledge books using Artisan's Acuity. Bear in mind you can get additional knowledge points from the Dark Moon Fair if it's the time of the month. and then also completing Patreon orders from your engineering table right here. Patreon orders are effectively orders that NPCs, see the name, Machinist Kitrin, see these got two names, players don't have two names, so this is an NPC that's put out an order. You complete the order and you have a chance of getting either Artisan's Acuity, a random item, or knowledge points. Knowledge points are obviously the bread and butter for us trying to make loads of gold with engineering. Following this build, you will eventually get to the point that I'm at right now, where you will be able to make loads and loads of gold using this strategy, just crafting lots of parts. And if you want to get there even faster and you don't mind exploiting the game a little bit, then what you can do is you can actually unlearn your second profession, learn a new profession, level it up to like 25, get as much Artisan's Acuity from doing that, then do the same, so on and so forth. Just type into Google or YouTube Artisan Acuity Shuffle and it should come up with a guide on that. Personally, it's not something I like, as I don't particularly like exploiting the game like that. I prefer to make gold in an honest way. Just like in real life, I prefer to make money through an honest way. Everything I do is original content. I never ever copy anyone. I really try my very best to make sure everything I create is unique and awesome for the community of World of Warcraft. I hope this guide helps you. Now bear in mind that you are crafting thousands at a time of this, and don't overdo it on any particular item just because you see more profit. It might take a lot longer to sell, and I made this mistake with Chaos Circuits where I initially crafted 250. It took me a day and a half to sell them. Don't be like me, be smarter. Maybe focus on whimsical wiring, handful of bolts, gyrating gears, and entropy enhancers, as these are relatively quick to sell, in my opinion. I specifically love focusing on whimsical wiring. Good luck with this, guys. I hope you make loads of gold, and I hope you consider checking out gaminghero.io, which is the best gold making website for gaming guides right now. If you love making gold, then this is the place for you. And of course, if you're interested in sharing some of your gold strategies, then consider becoming part of Gaming Hero as a writer. Join the Discord to inquire more. And of course, if you're a content creator, then check out the affiliate dashboard area, as there could be some pretty interesting stuff for you there as well. Thanks for watching, and this is Erosium out.